All right, this is the independent practice for 5.5, and we are taking rational numbers and we're comparing them and ordering them. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to do this. We're doing 1 through 8. See how you did. So, this first one, I love it when I have a positive and a negative. I know the positive's always going to be greater than the negative, so I don't even have to figure that one out. This one, I have negative and negative. -6 and -6, they're the same, but I got to figure out what this, I'm going to make that into a decimal. So I'm going to go 1 divided by 3, and this is going to get me -6.3 that repeats, okay? So I know that it's -6.333, and it goes on forever. I'll do 3 of these because I want to get it similar to this one. And if I'm looking at -6.375, which one's a little farther from 0? Well, this 375 is, without the negatives, it's bigger, but with the negative, it means it's farther from 0. If it's farther from 0 in negative, means it's less. So this one's the smaller one. So -6.1 is closer to 0 than -6 and 0.375. Okay. Number 3, I have a negative and a negative. So now I just have to 3 divided by 5. This is -0.6. If this is -0.6 and this is -0.6, I like that. They're both equally away from 0, so it's equal. There's an equality. Okay, another one. I got 2 negatives, so I just got to put this into a decimal. So it's -9.2 divided by 7 equals 2, 8, 5, and on and on and on and on. This is all I really need this to, because now I can compare 9.2 to 9.3. 9.2 is a little closer to 0, so that one's going to be greater. When you're talking about negatives, whichever one's closer to 0 is greater. Okay. Order each set of numbers least to greatest. I'm going to sort them. I have positive and a positive. Those two are going to be the greater numbers. I have a negative and a negative. So -2 point, I know 3 divided by 4 is 75. So I have -2.75, and I have -2.2 repeating. So, which one is closer to 0? And this -2.2 is closer to 0. I have less time or less numbers to get to 0. So this one is farther from 0. And when it's farther from 0, it's the smaller one, negatives. So -2 3/4. And then I go -2.2. Now I take my positives, 2.8 and 3 1/8. I don't even have to worry about putting this into a decimal because I know I'm dealing with whole number, 2 here and 3 here. So this is 2 point something and this is 3 point something. Which one is smaller? Well, 2 point something smaller, 2.8. And then which one's bigger? 3 point whatever, or 3 1/8. Okay. Let's do number 6. Okay, I have 2/3. Well, let me do my negative and positive. Oh, cool, I like this one. Only one negative. That's the smallest for sure. -0.6. Okay, got that out of the way. Now I have a positive, and a positive. So, 2 divided by 3 equals 0.66, and on and on and on. Okay, I'm going to have it just 0.66, because then I have 0.65, and then I have 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. And I can always add a 0 here. So, I want to find the smallest one, 0.65. 0.65. So I'm done with that one. 0.66 was this one right here, so 2/3. And then 0.8 is the next biggest, but that's not 0.8. I'm going to get rid of that. It was 4/5. Okay, you always go with the original one to put them in order. All right, we want to put these from least to greatest. Have a couple negatives. Don't even have to worry about decimals on all of these. Okay, so I'm going to circle my negatives. These are my negatives. -4, -2. It's -4 and something, -2 and something. Which one's farther from 0? Well, -4 is farther from 0. So -4.5, that's my least. And then -2 3/8. Okay, then I'm going to get to my 0. Then I'm going to go over 0 because these are positives. And now which one's closest to 0? Well, this 1.35 is. So it's 1.35, and farthest from 0 is 5.6. That's a nice one to order because there's no one that's the same in terms of the whole number part of it. So it's -4 and something, -2 and something, then 1 and something, and 5 and something. And I went from least to greatest. Okay, last one, number 8. Consider the inequality -3.5 is less than -1.5. Write a real-world problem represented by this inequality. You could say, I'm going to deal with temperature. The temp outside was -3.5 on Monday and -1.5 on Tuesday. Oops. Then I'm going to go, which day was colder? Okay. And we know -3.5 is colder, so I'm going to say Monday was colder. Okay? There's lots of different ways to say that, so you can do that. Now, let's put them on a number line. So I'm going to have 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So -1.5, here's -1, but there's a little more, so it's -1.5. 1.5 is right there. And -3.5, so 1, 2, 3, but it's more than that. -3.5 is right there. And now use the symbols to compare them. Let's see. It's going to be negative. Oh, use this symbol to compare it. So which one's greater? 1.5 negative. Oh, that's not good. -1.5 right here, because it's closer to 0, is greater than this one that's far from 0, -3.5. Okay? All right. There is your independent practice. Go ahead and try the extra practice, page 393, number 17 through 28. And keep following your checklist to make sure you're doing the problems I want you to do.